How's it going, everybody? So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the prep for this. I th I think let's just zero in on the December 7th, the date that will live in infamy prep at first. So we're going to do that prep, and then we'll come back and look at the 11th. I will tell you, I am also going to start to zero in on the date that iPet Goat is, which is 7/27, which was also my friend that was murdered's date of birth, and also the date of birth of somebody that's been very involved with my whole Groundhog Day anomaly and so forth. So we're just gonna, but right now, and I would tell you July 4th tomorrow, extremely high watch day. Gigantica high watch day. But all right, let's look at December 7th. I want to go ahead and first see about how many of these I can knock out from this perspective. Okay, so it'll be starting here. When we looked at the Dark Knight, I think we already included this. I think we've already done this. The Dark Knight is 5986 days on the 86ing day of December 7th, the date that will live in infamy. Pearl Harbor, that harbors the pearl. We'll get to that. And then it's 5988 on Rising Day from the Dark Knight. Next up, I showed y'all, it's 80. I did not show you this. It's 83 years. 83 is murder in that Gematria cipher. So let's go ahead and bring up murder. MUR, there it is. So murder is 83 in reverse ordinal, and it's a perfect 83 years from the date that will live in infamy. The hours begin with 7/27, the length of iPet Goat, and also why July 27th will be a very high watch day for us. Boom, let's get rid of that. Is the volume still good? Because I think I paused, or okay, it's still good. Y'all can't see it when I pop up the Zoom volume, but I can. So why am I looking at this? December 2024. Oh, that's not in our time zone. So it got refreshed. Let's go back and hit that December. Yeah, it's 121, of course. And we were going to look at Pearl Harbor, the movie. It is 3 hours, 3 minutes for 33. It is rated 6.2, which, remember, Revelation is G for Greek, 602 in Strauss Concordance. So again, the 62. The film Pearl Harbor May 21st. Did I bring these up? No, I did not. I think I looked at them today, though. But notice the film Pearl Harbor came out the year 2001. Notice the film, you know, we remember 2001, right? 2001, A Space Odyssey. That's when the twin Trumps fell down. Notice the running time is 183 minutes. Fascinating. So May 21st, 2001, May 25th, 2001, May 21st, 2001, May 25th, 2001, May 21st, May 25th. Let's run it to our December 7th date. There it is, 86. 86 means to eliminate if you include, and it's 8601 days. If you include both dates, which you have to do to get a midpoint, it's 8602. 602 is revelation in Strong's Concordance. It's G for Greek, 602. So they really want us to think, again, the fallen angels are the time travelers. That's why Trump will be the time traveler when Satan possesses his body. 2 days after the ritual of popping the twin, the clone, whatever they pop. So that's beyond fascinating. If we run it to the 25th, it is 8597. If you include both dates, then it would be 8598. 98th verse is the white horse crowning verse. If you run it to the rising day, this Pearl Harbor wide release, it is 23 years, 6 months, 14 days. 6/14 is Trump's birthday. So there you have it. Interesting and fascinating. We've seen stuff like this before, of course, but we're just saying. If you look at my Groundhog Day divorce 2, the 86ing of the 88, which is what that day was all about, look at the hours. 138, 888. 138 is Donald Trump in simple gematria. 888 is Donald J. Trump in simple gematria. I mean, in English gematria. So it's Donald Trump and Donald J. Trump. Remember, English gematria is 6 times English ordinal or simple gematria. The minutes begin with 8-3, which again is murder. And again, it's 8-3-3-3-2. We remember the 3-3-2 from Groundhog Day of my Groundhog Day divorce. Let's look at it. Oh, all I need is a calculator. I'm sorry. On that day, on Groundhog Day of 2009, it's day 33 with 332 days left in the year. When you go 332 times 2009, so you don't include anything else, just the future tense, you get 666 ending with an 88. What's in the middle is a 69. You also have the 98th verse, which is the white horse crowning verse. Let's continue. It's fascinating. The seconds are 4, 9, 9, 9, 4, 9, 9, 9, 9, 6, 8. Wow. If you run it to the rising day, 5789, 138, 936. 500 begins the seconds. 500 is, of course, Antichrist. Now, I have a friend who has an anomaly. They were born 1998 on 3/19. They have the rising of 11/3, which is when one World Trade Tower opened, which again, Lord of the Rings, the 2 towers, followed by Return of the King. It's the rising of the twin that survived, or the twin that lives. She's also got 138, which is Donald Trump in simple gematria. She's also got 88, which is Trump in simple gematria. She's got 38, which is murder in reverse ordinal, or what is it? It's murder in reverse full reduction. If you've been with me long enough, then you have to just be amazed at the hilarity of how I never remember those. And of course, her number ends in an 86. What I cannot prove to you was that she was born 8:08 a.m. and that her first name, middle initial, and last name comes to 148, the same as Trump's first name, middle initial, and last name. So this person I've always looked at as the cipher. And lo and behold, since she has rising and death, you go to the exact middle, which would be December 8th, which is after the death and before the rising. And she is a perfect 9,761 days. 761 is the amount of verses in Revelation and Daniel combined. 404 plus 357. Or you simply achieve that number by running it to our date of 12/7 from her birthday and just include both dates. That's fascinating. On my friend that was murdered, who was born 7/27, he was murdered on May 8th, 1978. He is 17/017 on the rising day. What will he be on 7/27, which was his actual birthday in the length of iPad Goat? 1688 and a 2, which was his number. On the rising day, it'd be 1688 and a 4. So that 84, that 884, the 84, remember, is 7 times 12, which is cleansing times the church, which is also Trump's birthday. 6 times 14 is also 84, as is 7 times 12, all multiples or factors, I should say, of 84. The rising day, of course, it has the 68. It has 688 in it. And remember, that's my number times the year. Remember, I'm 7 times 6 times 1961. My number is 82362 times 2024. And it ends in 688. Now, you could look at that as saying Trump will go down on July 4th and rise on July 6th. That is the 7 and the 6, 7/6, and the 688, which is a reversal of 886. Or would signify rising Trump. 68 is a reversal of 86. So that's kind of a big deal. I digress, but I love the way it matches there for that 7/27. Somebody else that I know on the rising day, they will have 11/17, 41 years, 1 month, 17 days. So from 3/11/2022 to our date that will live in infamy, December 7th, it's the Donnie Darko date. It's October 2nd. It's 1002. 144 begins the minutes. 404 is in the middle of the hours. 24048, 404, again, Book of Revelation. Remember the 3/11/2022 anomaly. Trump and I's combined number. Trump is 163464. I'm 82362. And she turned that many days old. The first 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number, she turned that many days old on 3/11/2022. 33 days later, yep, that number, Mystery Babylon's number. 33 days later, I turned that many days old, 22196. Trump and I also have a 322 in the middle and a 1968 at the end. But 33 days after that, so first 5 digits, March 11th. 33 days later, the next 5 digits of how old I was. 33 days after that was a total lunar eclipse. So we've been tracking it. That's a very key date. It's an anomaly. If you run that 3/11/2022 key date to our 86ing day, It is 1002, which is October 2nd, the Donnie Darko date. Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, which was all about 9/11, Here We Go Again, or the rising of the Antichrist. To the rising day, you do have 2334, but it's 333 weeks and 3 days. Again, Mamma Mia came out the same day as The Dark Knight. Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again came out the same day as The Dark Knight Rises, but 6 years apart. But on July 20th, same release date as The Dark Knight. And of course, Mamma Mia featured James Bond, Pierce Brosnan. So again, your 007 connection or the Antichrist connection to Seventh King of Mystery Babylon. Also had the guy from the Kingsman, which again is a replica of James Bond, and also had the villain from Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which again was Daniel Craig. 007 was in that movie, and he gave him the right eye wound. So Mamma Mia is a tremendous twin movie series, I guess we should say. So if you look at it, it's got 33 in the days, 2, 3, 3, 4. But look at the weeks and days, 333 weeks and 3 days on the rising day. And Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, 7/20/2018 is about the rising. And you run it to the rising day, 333 weeks, 3 days. That's a big deal. The movie The Hours, nothing. Not worried about it. I didn't leave it up here, so it's no big deal. Why do I have 7/21/1979? Was that Apocalypse Now? I don't know. If I don't have the reason or the reminder, then I'm not going to worry about it. My second right eye wound, 2 years, 7 months, 11 days on the 86ing day, but it's 31 months, 11 days, so it's 31111 code. The other right eye wound, remember the paper airplane that flew into my right eye? We've documented this many times on 12/17/2021. There is the 86 in the days. 1086 days to the 86ing day, to the rising day of 12/9, 1088. This is a big deal. That's a very big deal. I documented with y'all when it happened. Nothing's ever worked. As far as helping us find the date, but a paper airplane from a student flew into my right eye. It was 101. Just keep the classroom door open when it's just one student, open to the hallway. And I had to monitor the student. And it was the last day before the winter break. And he had done good all day. And we had a little paper airplane competition, which I won. And then he continued to fly while I got on the internet, close out the day. We're waiting on the bell, and it flew. And if you remember the story, it felt like it stuck and just stood there. There was no injury whatsoever, but it hit right in my pupil. It hit right in my right eye, and it's an airplane, which is what killed Donnie and the twin Trumps. So you're telling me on this 12/17/2021 that we've been going over and over every time we look at dates. Well, we go over it, especially when it's a hit. And the other one was when the gate opened and busted my right eye with blood. But you're telling me this is 1086 and 1088. So that's a big deal. The other one was not much of a hit when the gate stubbed my toe on the gate and I walked right into it and cut my right eye open, and I did a video showing y'all. One of the few times I ever show my ugly old head. So from the total solar to 12/7, it's 243 days. Guess what the length of No Time to Die is? 2 hours, 43 minutes, 24 seconds on the 4K. So, and there's your 243 from the total solar to the date that would live in infamy. What else did I find interesting? So my friend, I'm not going to, well, the date of the car accident that I showed y'all about that took place on June 23rd, she has 9/11 in her days. Remember her number? Oh, well, she's 2 times 22 times 1972. Her number is 86768. So she has the 86 at the beginning, the 7 in the middle, and the 68 at the end, which is pretty much like the palindrome that has the 7 in the middle also. 16761 of the amount of days between the person's car accident and my car accident. So her number is like a replica of that with that 7 in the middle. When I ran her to that car accident date, she does have the 9/11 in it. 1/9/11/5. That's how many days old she was on the day of the car accident. And remember, the car accident is the jumping off point for our previous video of how we came to this December 7th date. I did the math in my head and thought it was December 10th to the 12th. And I was all excited because of personal ciphers on those dates. And when I looked and I was like, oh, well, it's December 7th, the Pearl Harbor Day. That's nothing. And then started doing some research, and that's what these have all been about. Again, when you run the mirror of 12/7 to 7/12, it's 148 days, which is Donald J. Trump and simple gematria. And when you run the mirror of the rising day, 9/12 to 12/9, it's 88 days, which is Trump and simple gematria. Those are gigantic big deals. I cannot even impress upon you how much those are big deals. All right, let's go ahead and go through a prep. It's 148 days to the mirror. Already done that. December 7th in gematria. Believe it or not, December 7th comes to 148 Donald J. Trump in simple gematria, and 88, which is Donald J. Trump in English gematria. What are the chances of December 7th coming to that? I know. Let's go ahead and click the button. Here it is. December 7th. You can see it right up there. And then you see the 88 and the 148. That's mind-blowing. October 31 is one of them. Let's just go down the prep. So it comes to October 31 in Jewish Hebrew gematria. It comes to the weekend in Jewish Hebrew gematria. Now, it's not spelled like the entertainer. So I ran the entertainer, though. Because why do they call him the weekend? So I ran the weekend, his Super Bowl halftime show, to our 86ing day. Yeah, 1,399 days. 399 is murder in Jewish Hebrew gematria. Folks, that's mind-blowing out of this world. 1,399 days. 3 years, 10 days. 310 to Yuma. 357 Daniel's verses are in the hours. Percent of a common year, 383. Both murder in gematrias. Ciphers. Comes to, of course, Donald J. Trump. It comes to simple gematria. It comes to English gematria. December 7th comes to simple gematria, and it comes to English gematria, which are both matches for Donald J. Trump. Now, what are the chances of that? It's impossible. The first, it comes to 1, 2, 3, which is also 3, 2, 1, which is what? A countdown. Comes to Time Traveler, comes to Eye of the Tiger, comes February 6th, comes to Car Wreck, which again, it was a car accident that focused us on this date of person of mine. Comes to December 15th. It comes to Robert Redford. It comes to, oh, and his birthday is August 18th. It's my mom's birthday. His is 1936. To Saturday, December 7th is 32253 days. So he has 322 in his days. Robert Redford, who comes to him in Gematria. Also comes to Hotel California. And 17531 days. 175 again. 175 is Mystery Babylon the Great, all capitalized. That's pretty crazy. If you can absorb all of that, that's mind-blowing. December 9th in Gematria does come to December 7. Not December 7th, but it comes to December 7. What are the chances of that? That the rising day comes to the death day. And that, by the way, is in Jewish Gematria. Also comes to December 9th, comes to Kamala Harris, Second Coming, and Red Bull. In simple Gematria, comes to Illuminati 404, which Book of Revelations 404. Comes to Hunter Biden, the end is near, in December 7, like we already discussed. The Bullet Building, also known as 30 St. Mary Axe or the Gherkin. That's never usually a hit for us. It was established April 28th, 2004. If you run it to our 86ing day, it is 20 years, 7 months, 9 days. 7-9 is Murder in Simple Gematria. And it's got 86 in the hours, 180672. So drop the 0, it's 18672. Anyway. Not the craziest thing in the world, but still. It does match murder with the 2 months, 9 days. October 2nd, 2005. Which is when I met the person I had the mathematical anomaly with, which we've gone over many times, and involved in the Groundhog Day divorce. When you run the day that we met, October 22nd, 2005, it's 6986 days. Well, remember, the 698 is what happens when we do the future tense of our divorce. The 698. And it's 6986 on the 86ing day, but on the rising day, on the day I met the person that I was involved in the divorce with, and we know that the divorce date, future tense, which is just taking the year 2009 and the how many days to go it is, which was 332, you get 666,988. You got a 666 and an 88. Well, when you run the day we met to the rising day, it's 6988. It just doesn't have the 2 6s before that. And it's also 19 years, 1 month, 17 days. Folks, if you look at 19 years, 1 month, 17 days, let me make that as clear for you as I possibly can. "19 years, 1 month, 17 days. 19 years, 1 month, 17 days. 19 years, 1 month, 17. That's a 9/11 fused with 11/7. 11/7 is the rising Bible verse. Revelation. Hey, it's 9/11 p.m. when I'm doing this. Ooh, that's freaky. So, y'all, 9/11 was about 11/7 because September was once the 7th month. So it was really about 7/11. But most countries write it backwards from America. So it was really about 11/7. And that's actually the amount of years, months, days that we met to the rising day. It's got the rising numbers. 9/11 fused with 11/7. That's impossible. So far, I've shown you quite a few things that are impossible. Days to go from Groundhog Day 2009 to 666,988. 322 times 2009 equals, there it is, the 666,988. And there's the 6,988 amount of days with the 9/11 and the 11/7 fused in with the years, months, days. That's impossible. Frank shot in the right eye, 2/12/7, which is our 80/16 day. It equals 187, and it's got an 88 and an 83. 88 is Trump, 83 is murder. Let's punch it. So when Frank the Rabbit got shot in the movie Donnie Darko, it was October 30th, 1988. And how many days to our 80/16 day? 13,187. In the hours, 316488. In the weeks, 1883. 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. 88 is Trump, which in 1883, the 88's in the middle. 88 is Trump in simple gematria, 88 miles per hour. 83 is murder, 1883. Okay, so this date that will live in infamy, December 7th. Most countries write it 7/12. If you go look at the 7/12 prime number, the 712th prime number, you ready for this? 5,399. 399 is murder in Jewish gematria. We always keep an eye on the prime numbers. Apocalypse Now. Let's punch these up. Apocalypse Now to the 80/16 day. The hours begin with 399. Whoa. Which again is murder in the most biblical, the Jewish gematria, the Hebrew, the one that gives us Trump as 666 in two different directions. If you look at years, months, days to its other release, 45 years, 3 months, 22 days, 322 code. 543 months, 22 days, 322 code. I know, that's crazy. Back to the Future to our rising day. You won't believe it. This is impossible. It's 144 fused with 404, which means the church, the number for the church in Revelation that is redeemed, the 144,000. God doesn't count zeros, neither does Mystery Babylon. So it's the 144 fused with 404, which is the amount of verses in the book of Revelation. So it's the church in Revelation fused with Revelation. Back to the Future, released July 3rd, today, 1985, to our rising day of December 9th. That's not the abomination of desolation. It's just a spiritual rising, which will kick off World War III. Kick off the next 3 horses. Anyway, when Back to the Future was released, July 3rd, 1985. 14,404. That's 144. The church fused with 404. Revelation. And that's the church in Revelations, 144. That's impossible. And yet, there it is. There's the visual. Fused together. The church of Revelation fused with the verses of Revelation. That's impossible. We've seen stuff like this before, but man, are we seeing a lot? A date which will live in infamy is Revelation 13:3 in full reduction, which is the first time deadly wound is mentioned in Revelation. Had a deadly wound, but did live. Or deadly wound by the sword, but did live. That's a date which will live in infamy, all of it. If I copy and paste it right now, and come over here and throw it in there. A date which will live in infamy. There it is, 133 in full reduction. That's Revelation 13:3 code, big time. Are you kidding me right now? This is impossible. It's impossible. Infamy in Gematria, 486, 408, 68. So you have the 86, which is the death, and the 68, which is the rising. That's impossible. Amsterdam film, which is the biggest tell. It never matches anything, but it had the most actors of all of their Mystery Babylonian Antichrist movies. Actors from The Dark Knight, had Christian Bale, it had the guy that killed James Bond, and everybody in between. There's not a movie out there like Amsterdam to code a movie, yet it never comes to anything. Well, this time it does. So it's got John David Washington, which is all about John wrote Revelation. David is what? Jesus is of David, or from the seed of David. Washington, George Washington represents, all the presidents represent the Antichrist. That's why Washington was a god on the apotheosis. So when you put John David Washington together, it's all of that together. The film Amsterdam not only has Christian Bale, who is Batman, and Margot Robbie. Good grief, don't get me started. John David Washington, of course. Chris Rock, Upon This Rock I Will Build My Church. Anna Taylor-Joy. Zoe Saldana. Mike Myers, who again is 007 in a cartoonish. And it's got Michael Shannon, who did in the movie There's a Storm Coming. He was screaming it. It's got Taylor Swift. Don't get me started. But it's got Rami Malek, who killed 007 in No Time to Die. And it's got Robert De Niro. This movie is as loaded as any movie on the earth that ever will be. Amsterdam 134, 132. In its URL. If we look at its release to the Rising Day. Now remember, its release is on 10/7. That's what December 7th is. It's 10. December was once the 10th month, decade, decameter. So 10/7 to 10/7, December 7. Or if you run the release date to our December 7th date, it's got 79 murder right there in the day, 792. Look at the weeks, 113. So it will be 113 on the Rising Day. It'll be 113 weeks and 3 days. That's hard to beat because that's giving you One World Trade Tower, which is about the rising on the Rising Day in the weeks, fused with Revelation 13:3, deadly wound, but did live. It's got both. It's got 404 in the minutes on the 86ing day. But if you run it to the rising day, the 404 will disappear in the hours. But look at that, 113 weeks, 3 days. You've got 11-3, November 3rd for the One World Trade Tower rising, opening. 113 weeks, 3 days, 13-3 again, Revelation 13-3 code. Folks, this is fascinating. It's also 2 years, 2 months, 2 days. From Amsterdam to the rising day. This stuff's impossible. And yet here it all is. Zechariah 11:17 is the 23046 Bible verse. It's 23,046. Now, how old am I going to be? Very soon, I'm going to be 23,046. I just thought of that because I wasn't thinking about that earlier. I just saved that because I always wanted to know it. When am I going to be 23,046 days old? This is crazy. It better not land on July 27th. Ooh, it's going to land in August if it lands on the 17th. August 10th. We talked about how that's a high watch day because he rises on August 12th, which is when Sirius, the dog star, rises. My goodness gracious. I just did all this stuff for another date, and now I'm flabbergasted at August 10th. I'll have to make another video. That's mind-blowing. Because August 10th, my goodness gracious. My mom's address was 108 Knoxon Street. That's 10-8, which most countries would tell you August 10th. That was downtown Auburndale. My son's mom, her address, 108 Polk Street. Both our moms had 108 33823. My valedictorian was born on August 10th. I was best man in only one wedding. He was also born August 10th. His son became an NBA Hall of Famer. August 10th is also the birthday of somebody indirectly involved with the Groundhog Day divorce. Could be a previous spouse of somebody. Not going to say. This August 10th is one of the most packed birthdays of people I know that have made impact on my life. It's also 2 days before when Sirius rises. This is mind-blowing because I didn't even think that I would be that many days old when I looked at the amount of Bible verses. Zechariah 11:17 is the 23,046 Bible verse, and I just realized I'm 23,008 days old today. How many days away is that? It's 38 for murder. Did we discover that on today? 38 murder code. That he's going down August 10th. I can't believe this. This is mind-blowing. All right, love y'all.